Hi, guys. Welcome to Reality with T. Before we get started on Married at First Sight, the most uncomfortable couples of this week, I would love for you to please just like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share, do whatever you have to do. I do appreciate everybody who watches and listens to me. I would love for you to comment and give me some feedback when you're done. So let's talk about the most uncomfortable couple of this week. Oh my goodness, Erik and Virginia. Oh my God. Like I was like freaking out the same way Virginia was. I first of all I would say I don't appreciate the experts not stepping in, producers not stepping in, and making us watch these very uncomfortable scenes where it seems like they need some assistance and they have nobody. We put them together, but it's like they're not jumping in when they need to. Usually, I just remember from earlier seasons when you used to be able to like FaceTime one of the experts, or they would call in or something if they were having an issue. And it's just like everybody's so hands off, and it just sucks that we're just here having to watch these very uncomfortable things go down. So either way. Erik and Virginia, right? So they start out with in sort of an argument about Rocky, right? Rocky is Virginia's dog that she brought into a relationship. And so Erik is talking about how much the dog needs discipline, and the dog doesn't have the manners that he would expect it to have. Now the dog is 1 year old. So baby dogs are wild anyway. You know what I mean? But he's saying, my dog has manners. I guess her dog kind of nips at people when it sees them, jumps on people, the whole thing. And now they're going back and forth about whose dog does what. And she's getting very agitated. But then we find out that the night before there was an argument. Now I have to go back and watch like the first 10 minutes, but I believe there was an argument when they were at the bar. She left with her friends for like 20 or 30 minutes. He couldn't find her. I'm guessing he got upset about it. I'm guessing he felt like she should have checked in, whatever it was. I don't know the situation. They were upset about that. So now this fight about the dog is kind of like a continuation of that. And so basically, Erik is saying, like, basically, we're married now. The dog is half mine, this whole thing. And of course, he always goes to, well, then you can just end this. It always turns from like a size 2 or 3 confrontation to we can just close out the relationship, which is like a huge jump, and it's sometimes it's not even necessary, but he loves to throw out the ultimatums, which makes me very uncomfortable with him. So it just made me think, like, this is how he's going to be with kids. You know what I mean? So Virginia is like, I don't like to pretend that we're good. We just had a fight last night, the whole thing. When he starts throwing out the, you can walk, you can do this. He's unless you want to end this, he's half mine, the whole thing. She says that she's ready to walk away, right? So, you know, they had a few fights this, and I'm just gonna go over them briefly, but they did have a few fights this episode, and it just got more and more uncomfortable the more that it went on. At some point they're having an argument, and he says, you can think what you want, I don't care. And my thing about it is, like, you should care about how your partner feels. You know what I mean? She's going through something, you guys are going through something together, you should care at all times about how she feels. I don't like that I don't care thing. Basically he explains to the cameras that when they start having a conversation, Virginia gets very defensive. She puts her walls up, and then Erik starts to play the victim. I always get hurt. That's what I'm afraid of. He's been cheated on in the past. Virginia feels like she's drowning in anxiety. I feel like she is feeling suffocated. She's feeling controlled, like he's trying to control her. She's feeling, and she starts to say that she feels like she's failing in all of her other relationships. Like, this relationship has completely consumed her. She wasn't expecting it. I don't think she knows how to adjust to it. She feels like her life has changed. She doesn't feel like she's herself anymore. She just feels everything is different. Then you have the dramatic music, and Erik comes in and says, well, you have to change for marriage, type of thing. This is when we see Virginia kind of have to start. She talks about how she has anxiety, and she's kind of starting to freak out a little bit. You know what I mean? She's panicking a bit. And he's like, you're scaring me. What's wrong with you? I hate the tone that he uses. Like, he likes to put on this tone, like he's so, that condescending tone. Oh my goodness, you're concerning me. Is everything okay? Knowing good and well that you're the one that's freaking her out. The thing is, she may be dealing with anxiety and all this kind of stuff, but the point is that you, Erik, are the one who's triggering it because you're trying to control her. The language that you're using, neither of them are ready for this situation, right? Virginia is not ready to go from single life to married life, but he is also very overbearing, and he wants her to go from single life to this extreme housewife type of thing where he is in control of everything. And like she says later on in the episode that he is basically that she leans on him. And she's used to being very independent. She has not had to depend on anybody in a very long time. Remember, her mother left her when she was a teenager. Her father left, whatever it was. She was independent for a very long time. So this is making her feel very uncomfortable. And his trying to control everything is triggering this anxiety. So I'm seeing people talk about, oh, they're about to break up over a dog. It's not over a dog. The point is that you're trying to control my dog's behavior the same way that he's trying to control her behavior. She also might be thinking, you're trying to force me to have kids, and this is how you're going to be with our kids. Like, the whole situation is very uncomfortable. He is very controlling. I don't know if it has to do with the age. It's his age difference. It's also the personality. It's also his military stuff. It's also whatever else it is. He also thinks that he is more in control than she is of her life, for example, with the drinking and the partying and stuff. And he kind of feels like he has to put her into this box. So this is all just a whole cluster F of just ridiculousness. And this is very uncomfortable for us to watch. And I don't believe this is going to work. Let me get back to the episode. She's drowning, the whole thing. And, he starts to say again in the second argument that we see, if you don't like it, and then Virginia says, listen, if you tell me again I don't like it, if I don't like it I can leave, I'm going to punch you in your face. And to me, I'm just thinking, I don't need a guy to tell me that but too many times. If you don't like it, you can leave. Trust me, I would have been gone. Well, you don't have to fight me to stay with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's what it's come down to, if you don't like this, then I can leave, I'm out, because you're not going to be giving me no ultimatum. You know what I mean? Like, how many times is he going to say that? She's just going to have to keep backtracking on what she's saying and feeling like she has to tiptoe around what he wants and the choices that he wants her to make. Like, I'm very uncomfortable with the dynamic between them. So, Erik is just like, so he tries to change it to, well, you can do what you want. Nobody's forcing you into this situation. This whole thing, it's very passive aggressive. It's very condescending. And he's trying to make it look like she is the one with the issues, as opposed to him triggering some of them. You know what I mean? He wants to come out looking like the good guy, which I have a problem with. So basically, it's like, it makes her feel like she has to prove to him why she wants to stay. So, all right, fine. You want my dog to be trained. You want to treat my dog this way because I want to stay with you so bad. I'll just acquiesce to what you want. And that's what I don't like, because she's going against what she really wants and what she desires and what she's comfortable with. So let me go to my other page, because they took up all of my notes section time page. Let's see. At one point, Erik said, and I'm quoting him, basically he was trying to say, I don't know how to handle you. Basically, like, I just hate his language, as if he's like a teacher and she's a student, or he's a stepdad and she's an unruly stepchild. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't have to be handled. You know what I mean? Like, you have to adjust to her the same way she has to adjust to you. What I have noticed about her is that she never openly says, you're controlling, you're suffocating me. I do not like the controlling language that you use. She has alluded to saying something to that, but we haven't seen her say that. And I would love to see her just say it flat out. And for some reason, she doesn't feel comfortable doing that. So, she apologizes to him for his anxiety and for her anxiety and pushing her issues on him. And she didn't need to, because I feel like he is the one who has caused it. He says, you can come to me about anything and I won't judge you. And I don't believe that that's correct, because he does judge her. He's judging her on her partying, on her drinking. He judges her with being not as, I guess, mature as him, doesn't have as much experience as him. He is very judgy, and you can tell. Basically, she says, like I said before, he wants her to need him and depend on him, and that's really not her thing. He talks about, again, the dog's behavior, and he tells her, stop getting so defensive about it. And, you don't trust me. Basically, like I said before, he's saying, you don't trust me as a father figure. This is our dog. And so you start to think, why is the dog so important to Virginia? Now, earlier when she went out to the producers, she said that she got the dog during a time when she was very depressed and going through some things. And so it really helped her through. So that's why the dog is so precious to her. You know what I mean? This is something that's hers. And I feel like her in this marriage, then having to move into his apartment, his house, and the things that she doesn't want to do, I think the last thing she wants to keep to herself is that dog. This is mine. You can't tell me how to deal with it. You can't tell me how I should raise it. This is mine. And this is one thing I'm not going to let you infringe upon. That's why it's so important to her. So now they're talking a bit again about the damn dog, right? And now Virginia is crying. This is too much for her. I guess the issue, she's trying to say, I don't want to talk about this right now. And he keeps pushing the issue. He's trying to get to a resolution about the dog situation. And it's just too much for her to handle. She cannot have this conversation right now. She is too hyped up about it. She's panicking. He still wants to talk about it. So that's the issue. So now she's crying. She's trying to deflect from the dog situation, trying to avoid dealing with it. So she's laughing at the dog. She's like, Rocky, that's, you're digging in the carpet. You can't get a bone over there. And he's getting annoyed because he's trying to get to the bottom of the issue. He's trying to continue and finish the conversation. I think that he also doesn't listen to her. She isn't comfortable about the way that he talks to the dog. He's frustrated. She doesn't want to talk about it. Again, she's about to freak out again. He is not in tune to what she needs. You know what I mean? Granted, they don't know each other well, but she keeps saying, I am unable to talk about this right now. I don't want to talk about this right now. And he is so logical and rational and the whole thing. And he's just trying to get through the conversation and come to a resolve. And she is unable to give him that. So at this point, Erik is saying he's done. This is when they show a video clip of when they have like those spy cameras in the home when they're not really filming, but they're spying on them. Like when they're sleeping, they were having another argument. Erik says, you're done. You've been an asshole all day. You were done. He's completely over it. This is a different Erik than we see on camera when he tries to be very calm and still condescending, but he thinks he's being calm. He tries to seem like he's understanding on camera, but I don't feel like that's really what's going on behind the scenes. And I think that's what's causing Virginia a lot more of the issues than what we can see. So Erik says that he feels that they have what to him are regular conversations, but for her, they turn into something different and he just kind of gets hit by it. But what he doesn't realize is that it's a buildup. You know what I mean? It's him just adding on to it. These little statements here, ultimatums all the time. Now you're trying to change this. You're trying to change everything about me and my personality. You're trying to change everything about the relationships between me and my friends. Now you're trying to change my dog. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's just all coming down on her right now and she can't take it all at one time. So then they talk again. Erik always says that he's fine and he's not. That's her issue. He says that he sees that she's making effort to talk about uncomfortable conversations and she is trying to let him help. But he needs the thing is that he is trying to figure out, he needs to know what is his place in her life. Fine, you want to do your own thing. I want to let you do that, but where do I fit in? How am I going to be that force, that other person in your life? And that's something that he hasn't got an answer to yet. And she doesn't know because she's not able to give it to him because she doesn't really know because she hasn't been in a relationship like this. And he just keeps trying to tell her, I'm behind you. I just want to let you know I'm always behind you. I'm going to let you do what you want to do. But I guess it's frustrating for him to not get any answers or not get anything specific to where he could know exactly, what it is that he can do for her and where it can actually fit. Either way, the entire situation is completely toxic. It's completely uncomfortable for us to watch. I'm surprised that they're letting it go on this long without stepping in. Like, the fact that the experts are so hands-off is now really getting on my nerves. You know what I mean? But I'm hoping that they can come to some resolve. There was a part where Virginia was talking to the girls and she talked a lot about her anxiety and mental health and, seeing a therapist and the whole thing. But it's more than that because something is triggering the anxiety, and it's Erik trying to force all these things on her and his language and his, wanting her to change and just be, the Stepford wife that he thinks that she should be within a, 4-week period. It's a lot. Either way, I'm not a fan of Erik at the moment. Not so much a fan of Virginia, but, I'm kind of feeling for her right now. Either way, let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you're thinking about these two. I don't think that they're going to make it through decision day. If they do, I don't see them lasting very long. But either way, let me know what you think. Thank you for watching Reality with T. Bye-bye.